Don't even sit down, we're gonna do the pledge. Square, you wanna start us?
Sure. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Welcome, everyone. Robin, do you wanna do roll call?
Sure. President Callis,
I'm here.
Secretary Sass,
Here.
Treasurer Hannon,
Yep.
Trustee Simpson, Trustee Saylor, not yet,
Soon.
soon. Okay.
She'll be good. I hate when that happens when your computer just,
It's usually my phone that decides to do that and I lose all my contacts.
we need a motion to approve all the minutes.
Did you second?
Do we have? All in favor? Any opposed? So moved. I know it's a little early, there's no public, but this is the first part of public comment, so if you join later, you missed it, but you'll have another chance.
Unless there's comments from them.
Unless there's comments from the public when they finally get here. All right, let's move on to the treasurer's report.
Reports in your packet. No additional commentary on this one.
I believe that's roll call the way our new attorney
Yes.
likes it.
But I need a
Oh,
second.
we would want to do something with that.
No, you don't have to.
That was
I'm
my-
fine with that. Just.
Okay.
And that was my fault because I asked for,
Oh, shit.
right? Okay.
Sean.
We're getting used to it.
But do I have a second?
We're messing with my
Did
rules.
we get a second? Randy, did we get a second? Sorry. There we go.
All right. So President Callis,
Yes.
Secretary Sass,
Yes.
Treasurer Hannon.
Yep.
Trustee Simpson,
Yes.
Trustee Saylor, still not.
She's just came.
Oh, okay.
She does not get a second.
Okay. We're gonna go with that.
Mhm.
Hey, Jenny's here.
Hi, Jenny.
She's muted, but she's here.
Um,
Say what? There.
Hi, sorry.
Motorcycle breakdown on the way home? or-
Make a motion, we adjourn.
Chief.
Thank you, Mr. President. So Omicron has died down a little bit, so we're resuming multi-company training, although we were supposed to host the special operations this month, which was going to be ice rescue, which for those in the public that don't know is actually a big thing. We go on a lot of those, unfortunately. So we weren't doing the standard alliance multi-company stuff, but we did provide a lot of leadership, and a lot of the agencies went out. We helped a few of them go out and do some practical drills. I think there was some stuff on social media. Us in West Chicago were out doing some ice rescue training earlier in the month. It's a good drill every year, and like I said, unfortunately, it's a necessary drill because we utilize those skills more often than I'd care to like. For the regular multi-company drill was today, tomorrow, and the next, and it's essentially just a get together, the command chiefs with the membership, all of the different companies from all of the different shifts, and we're just basically doing the state of the alliance, which I'll have that PowerPoint in the board packet for next month, which basically talks about the fact that all combined we're running 26,000.
What's that?
The calls. Enormous amounts of call volumes. 26% of the county is covered by the alliance.
Yep.
So actually, when you start to add up all of that stuff, considering the fact that we work operationally as one agency, we're doing a lot of work, and so it was a lot of that stuff talking to the troops about what's in store for the year, what our strategic plans are, and all that kind of stuff. So that was what we were doing, and it's typically the January or the February drill every year. Recent incidents of note, our Medic 31 on Gold Shift on January 25th assisted West Chicago in accident with extrication. On February 3rd, Gold Shift, Engine 31, Medic 32 assisted Wheaton with a structure fire on Gables. Also on February 3rd, obviously everyone that saw the news, the pretty big fire up in Bartlett. We had a crew there assisting them for a considerable amount of time. Big incident. I was actually just on a meeting with Chief Cambria from Bartlett, very fine department, very fine chief. I mean, they're still dealing with the aftermath of that incident. So keeping our thoughts out with them on a really tough incident. February 4th, we got a lot of calls amongst the community. So on Roosevelt Road, we got dispatched for reported structure fire. And the reason we got a lot of phone calls, so this is the kind of venue I like to talk about that. Interestingly, that was one of many of those types of calls, outside smoke investigations, reported a structure fire on this house on Roosevelt, which actually turned out to be the effects of the Bartlett fire. Smoke rolling, the wind changed directions, smoke was rolling through Winfield. We got dispatched for a house fire. So it was in fact not a house fire, but it was the after effects of the Bartlett incident. And on a related note, on February 7th, Black Shift, we got a series of calls throughout the community, got a lot of calls here, got a lot of dispatch calls for inside smoke investigations, outside odor investigations, inside odor investigations. And what that was, so the public knows, again, in this venue, is there is a mulch processing facility not far out of our district. And they had an issue with some of their mulch piles were overheating. They turned them over, and the gas and odor spread throughout the communities, which led to a lot of calls.
St. Charles Road.
Yeah. So that's what that was about. So there was no hazard. There was nothing toxic in the atmosphere. So there was no hazardous material related. It was just odorous, and people were calling. So just an interesting little public information piece there. On February 8th, our tender went to Addison for a structure fire. Again, going back to something I've mentioned on many occasions to the board, is we have very few tenders in this area, and all of the tenders that are in this area, when someone has a fire in one of those areas that doesn't have hydrants, we all go. So sometimes we go farther than you would think we would to assist with those kinds of incidents. And others come to us similar, like that one on Roosevelt Road, actually. We had tenders coming from Bloomingdale, Roselle, Bartlett, and York Center. And then on the 11th, Red Shift compliments them. They had a very nice animal rescue, a dog that was stuck behind some cabinets that they were able to rescue. So good for them. No service anniversaries report this month. In terms of the fleet updates, tender 31. So Elkhart Brass was in to do repairs. The dumps on the tender are currently working. However, there was an interesting story about that. They had, when they built that was a proprietary valve. I know we've been through this. I've taken the board through these details. It was, I hate to say the word experimental, but for lack of a better prototype. Thank you. How many of them were built?
7.
How many are left?
1.
That one.
Hours.
It was according to Elkhart. So it's fixed, but they have to, because of the nature of the valve, they have to come in and specifically
program the travel distance on the facility one each time. Any maintenance gets done.
So that will continue to be a problem, I'm sad to say. Engine 31 has a few minor maintenance issues that it needs to go into, or some couple things that need to be tightened up on some of the exhaust system.
The exhaust.
And we're waiting for parts because of the supply chain. So nothing major, just it's stuff that needs to get fixed. I've taken the board through on many occasions the ESO, the new fire reporting software that we have to get because the stuff we use is no longer going to exist. Deputy Chief has been leading that effort, and he's been doing a very fine job, and we're getting closer to the implementation of that. And then with that, there is a system called Flow MSP, which I've taken the board through previously as well. All of the alliance agencies have this Flow MSP software, and what it does is it helps with pre-planning and that kind of thing. So you can get information. If Wheaton's coming here for a fire and we're out on another call, they can pop up and get a lot of pre-plan information, a lot of street view data. hydrant locations, hose lead out informations, distances, all that kind of stuff. So all of the communities can talk to each other. So if we're going anywhere, we can get a lot of that intel. So that's coming along with it too. And that's a little bit more behind ESO Solutions, but a lot of that implementation is going to be going together. So a lot of hard work by the staff, getting all that stuff done, and compliments to them. I told you previously that the Alliance had applied for a FEMA grant for a mobile ventilation unit. That's been submitted, no word yet. We submitted for an Office of the State Fire Marshal grant for air compressor. Haven't heard anything back from that grant request yet. And we submitted a SAFER grant for one additional full-time member per shift. And we should hear something back on that in 2 to 3 months. In the packet, you'll find, and I want to extend my appreciation in my capacity, Congressman Caston's office supplied us with a very kind letter of support for our grant request. And I would also thank Congresswoman Underwood's office as well, who helped us connect with Congressman Caston's office. So compliments to all them in helping us. Hopefully we'll get that done. What the SAFER grant will do is, as everyone knows, the guys are working tons and tons of overtime. Our part-time staff, which usually works that extra time, has been devastated like everyone else's. And this, essentially the SAFER grant is a 3-year program where for 3 years they'll pay a salary and payroll cost for those, and then we absorb their salaries after that. And we have to be able to guarantee for 5 years after the conclusion of the grant that we can keep those people employed, which is going to be a considerable stretch for us, but we're running out of options and our people are need the relief. So we're going to figure out a way to make it work, and we're working hard to try and get them the relief they deserve. Lexipol update, which we'll get into a little later in the packet. We've been working on that, trying to get our policies and procedures dialed in. The RFPs for roof repairs, again, later on in the packet, but it's something that we've been working on. The command vehicle purchase. So I'd been through, I encountered some difficulties getting some pricing information. We have the state purchase opportunity dialed up and ready to go. I got an update report earlier today that it's 30 weeks for a vehicle if you ordered it today. So we'll see how that winds up, but that'll probably be something that's before the board.
Are they going to honor the state bid?
They are.
Okay.
As of today. New hire update, our newest member, Walker Wells, started Monday. He's been doing his orientation time. Again, compliments to the crews for working with him and getting him oriented. And we're going to be transitioning him in. It's going to take him a little bit. He's coming from North Palos. So he's not particularly familiar with our area. So, but he's very motivated young person, and he's working. We're going to get him all dialed up. So he'll be getting going on shift in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, system entry is large
time. Probably the last report for now about the recent survey that we conducted. Again, thanks to Trustee Hannon for leading that effort. We have communicated with everyone that responded that they wanted to be contacted. So that's been handled. And then lastly, the IT solution services, which is under old business. I'll probably get into it then, but I do have an update on that. And thank you to Attorney Miller for his incredible help with that, which I'll get into that in more detail when we get to that point. That's all I have to report for. Oh, one last thing, actually, I'm sorry. We did meet with, yesterday, Deputy Chief and I met with some officials from the Village of Winfield about some hydrant stuff. And I'm happy to say that we had a very nice conversation, and we provided them with a lot of good information. Previously, the fire district had gone out and got a hold of County GIS, who were incredibly kind and helpful, I might add. And they helped us and gave us the ability to go out and data point each and every hydrant in our fire protection district and those on the periphery of our fire protection district. So we're able to data point them. We were able to inventory them so that they could be put into our mapping systems and all of that other stuff, going back to the flow of MSP and all the other stuff, so that now any one of our neighbors or us, everyone knows where the hydrants are at. So we had provided that information to the village to help them develop their inventory. They were, again, very nice conversation. They were appreciative. We gave them some other information with respect to some stuff that ISO is looking for and some record keeping stuff. So it was a very, very cordial and very productive conversation. And we're off to a better place with all the hydrant stuff. Just wanted to point that out. Compliments to the village for coming over and having to sit down with us. And that's all.
Been more interaction between the village government and ourselves in the past 6 months, I think, than there's been in the past 6 years or more. So that's definitely,
There's been
definitely good to hear.
there seems to be a change of attitude in the employees there too. They're a little bit more receptive to listening as opposed to telling. So it's been good. It's nice to be, it's nice to communicate, you know, with all the bodies in our community. The only way we're all gonna be able to go forward is if we're all working towards the same goal. So it's been a pleasure. It's really been a pleasure. Mr. Miller, do you have anything?
Just quick one, Sean, enjoyed meeting with you guys. It's like, I'll go there anytime. So you guys must have been really nice to him, which he's not used to.
We love Sean.
We had a big shrimp dinner.
Obviously, Sean is a good eater, so. No, did Sean talk to you guys about the CPIU? Did we talk about that before?
Sean went over the CPI.
Okay. That was the main thing. I just want to make sure you guys are aware, because that means obviously we're doing truth and taxation. Really, I don't have anything else to talk about right now.
Full business.
The update on the bids for IT services. So after having a bunch of agencies out, going through, getting bids, we selected the lowest responsible bidder, who had a contract that came with a one-year contract that came with their services. I had provided that contract to Attorney Miller, who incredibly kind. Again, I'm going to say it again, and I mean it. They went through it. Hey, this needs to change. We need to approach them about this. So we've been back and forth with them, and they agreed to our proposed changes. So that should meet everything. We just got the answer back, so I'll probably run it past the attorney one more time, and then that'll probably be ready for next month for board consideration.
Great.
Thank you.
We have the consent agenda.
So we approve the consent agenda.
All in
Just
favor?
make one quick comment,
Please do.
just for public consumption. Last year was a record year, as we've talked about numerous times, regarding our number of calls. We're already, just through January, we were up another 61 calls over 2021. So compliments to the crews. You guys are doing a hell of a job out there with the world stacked up against you on these runs that you have to go on. And we appreciate it. And just want to make sure public's aware that we are, if this is the pace, it's gonna, again, be a record setting year.
Thank you very much for that. And actually, as I do every day, the total as of today, year to date, we're 71 up from last year.
Oh, there you go.
Did you also find some time to collect gifts for the round of the townhouse too, which is part of the consent agenda? So
Yes, Seth Lamb, who was here earlier, leads that effort for us every year. We drop the donations off.
I know Square does a real good job donating too. I appreciate it.
Yeah, our motorcycle.
Right. I know. But I appreciate your input on that. We had a motion for the consent agenda.
Wait a second from
You
Read
did
it,
it.
right?
Okay.
You did it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. New business. Roof repair.
Roof repair, I gave you a synopsis of the one. I had a couple questions regarding the bond issue, but it sounds like that's not a problem because it's not over $50,000.
Right.
And under the recommendations, I think they should go with, would be
Anthony?
Anthony Roofing.
Which was the lowest.
It was the
Lowest
lowest
response.
of the ones that was complete.
Yeah.
We
Lowest
did have a
response.
couple that, Pro Vantage did have one that was, they didn't have a phone number and they really didn't give me much information about what that stuff was, so.
But Trustee Stas had some comments prior to the meeting. Do you want to share any of that? See if any of it.
Well, it's just that if all they're looking for the license and bond, you know, it asks me for license bond all the time. It really means nothing because insurance companies never ask me for a license, so I don't pay for insurance policy. What's more important is to have a liability insurance. Because whether they're licensed or not, you want to make sure they're insured if something goes wrong. So that's the more important product if you want to.
And Anthony Roofing actually does address those. Pro Vantage didn't address that in any ways, and I had no way.
And what was I didn't look at the details of the liability insurance, but what was the liability insurance?
What was it?
Yeah. I would just recommend, look at it and make sure that it's sufficient.
Yes. So a couple of things just to note though on the bond issue. So in Illinois, there's a Public Construction Bond Act and any project under 50,000, you don't have to do the bond anyway. But you're right, the
Sure, you
insurance.
talking about licensing bond or performance bond?
Well, it's not it's kind of more the performance bond type.
Okay, that's a little different. Okay.
Yeah, so, but under Illinois law, if it's under 50,000, you don't have to have that. That's the Public Construction Bond Act. And I saw their insurance in here. I can't deny for this first time. What I would want you guys to do though is make the motion finding that Anthony Roofing was the lowest responsible bidder. But there were some bidders who were lower, but they weren't completely responsive there, or they were bounced because the bid packet was incomplete.
So any more discussion?
Unless you have questions for me.
Okay, so do I have
Did
a,
they explain thoroughly what they were doing?
Yeah, it's all in there. That's what I did like about it. There's pictures about
Right.
detailed exactly what they're going to do and what they're providing. And I think that's where they were
The good news is they didn't fall through the roof when they were up there digging those things.
nobody felt.
I had that.
Set them up there one at a time, right? Set them up there one at a
It's
time.
I told them to spread out.
You, the little guy, going for first.
Lay on your stomach and just,
I will make the motion to approve, to accept the bid from Anthony Roofing as it was the lowest responsible and complete bid that was presented. Also, and that amount is $35,985.
Yeah.
And then,
who seconded that? I'm sorry. Phil, okay.
and that would be a roll call vote since we're, correct?
Yes, sir.
I'm just getting better at this.
We're learning.
I was writing notes.
President Callis.
Yes.
Secretary Sass.
Yes.
Treasurer Hannon.
Except
Trustee Simpson. Trustee Saylor.
Yes.
in the meantime, keep chewing the gum, stick it up there.
Yeah, we can tell you're not frozen.
If it's good enough for a screen door on a boat, I mean, come on.
We want to review and approve standard operating procedures. Do I have a motion on that?
I'll make the motion to approve the standard operating procedures as presented.
All in favor?
All right,
Opposed?
thanks for working on all of this stuff.
A lot of work.
There's quite a bit more to come.
Every month. That's no
So,
problem.
so to refresh everyone's memory, they were, our policies and procedures were in desperate need of update. It's comprehensive. And because of the nature of the culture in our agency, the size of our agency, we've taken a few extra steps to involve our membership, have an interactive experience to try and make sure that we're not creating some sort of animosity. So they've been given it a nice look over. They've been very good to work with, and then ultimately comes to the board for approval. So there's going to be a lot more of these coming, but that's the process that we've been utilized.
That's great.
I'm glad we can all get together.
Make the motion. Okay, Bill.
Well, we first want to say that we don't have a surplus list.
Yeah.
There is no surplus list at this month.
Okay.
We're still trying to get rid of last year.
We have a motion on the floor to pay the bills.
I am, second,
President Kalis.
Yes.
Secretary Sass.
Yes.
Treasurer Hannan.
Yep.
Trustee Simpson. Trustee Saylor.
Yes.
But I think we're gonna move into executive session, since there could be a possibility that we might approve something, right?
Yeah,
Maybe. We're gonna certainly discuss it.
right, yeah,
We
I
may
mean,
approve it.
definitely,
We
right.
may come to a conclusion, which would be, information public needs to know, correct?
What I would say is, well, we'll make the motion, depending on what it is that we're gonna talk about. You probably aren't gonna do anything, we would notify other parties and then work on
Okay.
a document. I
So
don't
now
think
we're
you're
gonna
take-
adjourn.
Yeah, you'll
Okay,
be
all right,
adjourned, yeah.
okay, all right.
I don't think you're gonna be approving anything tonight.
Okay, all right.
I will second the motion to.
Who made the motion? Was that George? Did you make
I
it?
think I did.
Okay,
I
sorry.
will second the
That's
motion to
allowed.
adjourn into executive session.
And that's the purpose of talking about the,
Land acquisition pending litigation process.
and, yeah, the employment.
Before we adjourn,
Yes.
perhaps more public comment.
Oh, I forgot, Phil. Thank you. We talked about it, I had it written down. But since I looked up and there wasn't a lot of public, but does anyone have anything that they want to ask questions about, join in, make a comment about, complain?
Whoa.
We can complain.
Don't open up that Pandora's box.
Complaints are welcome. They will not be addressed. Everything good? All right. Sorry, the public wasn't okay. Oh, yeah. Well, we do, but they're kind of non-public. They're kind of semi-non-public.
Do you need to do anything with them, given that stuff from the testing agency? The testing agency.
Oh, yeah. You got a motion?
No, because the commission really hasn't.
All in favor, say aye.
Sorry.